gonna be a while till we hear that again. Bittersweet. So happy for you, though. So happy. So this month we are igniting the spark of the divine flame within us as we keep it simple, as we fully participate in the awesome nature of God, realizing that our life is a reflection of inner peace and the power that comes with kicking it into gear. So in that was we did that last week, was spark, if you didn't get it. So simple, participate, awesome, reflection, and kicking it into gear. You saw that, the words, the spark, and as I said, we did go over that last week. And this week, we are going to deepen into that A letter, awesome. Awesome. So a quote from Ernest Holmes, this is from A Science of Mind magazine, where he wrote, "All the power and intelligence of the universe is already within, waiting to be utilized. The divine spark must be fanned into a blaze of the living fire of your own divinity." And so today, we fan that divine spark within into the blaze of our living fire, our living experience, all that we do by looking at the awesome nature of God, which is like looking at ourselves. I think it is important to do this now and then because sometimes we get a little bit too heady and clinical when we talk about God and the law of attraction and all of these laws. They feel a little dry. So we can look at God as an automatic, impersonal, neutral, infallible law, and that would be absolutely true, but there's so much more. There is so much more to this divine essence, this infinite spirit, this loving mind that we call God. There's so much more. And Holmes talks about that in Science of Mind, page 88. To be careful not to reduce God to merely an abstract principle, a mathematical law of cause and effect. Because if we do, we shall lose all the warmth and color, he said. We should be very careful not to forget the essence. And that essence of God is awesome. I love that word. Awesome love, awesome power, awesome creativity, awesome vastness. It's infinite. There's no beginning, there's no end. And I have to admit, though, that this can be a bit of a conundrum. I love that word. Conundrum. By the mere act of reducing and speaking about God's awesome love, awesome power, awesome creativity, awesome vastness into words, we automatically diminish and lessen its awesomeness. But it's all we have to express that which is unexpressible. We cannot express this infinite intelligence that's created all that is, was, and ever shall be. But the word, here's some synonyms for awesome from the Webster Dictionary. Incomprehensible, inconceivable, unbelievable, mind-bending, mind-blowing, mind-boggling. Those are the synonyms for awesome. So it's beyond anything we can conceive of. But as humans, we open up. At least I hope we open up to this possibility of this eternal loving presence, this Father within that doeth the work. So it's not really possible to talk about God's awesome nature, not fully. It has to be felt. It's got to be that place within us where if we have other humans in our lives that we love, and it's beyond any kind of verbiage, any kind of description, because it's a feeling that cannot be described, not fully. So I have something that I want to read, and it kind of flows, and I'm not doing the divine masculine this year because it's been done. You know, God is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We know that. It's on our creative a creative process chart in the back of the Science of Mind book, but we're gonna listen to what an 8-year-old wrote. This is Danny Dutton, okay? No, I like that name. From Chula Vista, California, and he wrote this because he was given an assignment at school to explain what God meant as a part of who he was. What did God mean to him? So Danny wrote this, and this is real. One of God's main jobs is making people. He makes them to replace the ones that die. So there will be enough people to take care of things on earth. He doesn't make grown-ups, he makes babies. He does this because they are smaller and easier to make. And that way, he doesn't have to take up his valuable time teaching them how to walk and talk. He lets the parents do that. God's second most important job is listening to prayers. An awful lot of this goes on. And since some people, like ministers and others, pray when it's not just bedtime, and God doesn't have the time always to listen to the radio or TV because of this. He's always listening to prayers. God sees everything, Danny writes, and hears everything, and is everywhere, which keeps him pretty busy. So you shouldn't go wasting his time by going over your mom and dad's head with something they said you couldn't have. Atheists, he writes, he wrote this, are people who don't believe in God. I don't think that there are any in Chula Vista. At least none of them come to our church. Jesus is God's son. He used to do all the hard work, like walking on water and performing miracles, and people finally got tired of him preaching, so they crucified him. But he was good and kind, like his father. And he told his father that they didn't know what they were doing and to forgive them. His dad, God, appreciated everything that he had done and all his hard work here on earth. And so he told him that he didn't have to go on the road anymore. He could stay in heaven. And so he did. And now he helps his dad out by listening to prayers and seeing things which are important for God to take care of. If you don't believe in God, besides being an atheist, you will be very lonely. Because your parents can't go everywhere with you, like to camp. But God can. It is good to know He's around, especially when you're scared in the dark or you can't swim and some of the big kids throw you in the deep water. But you shouldn't just always think of what God can do for you, Danny writes. You should also go to church on Sunday. This is a smart 8-year-old. Because it makes God happy. And if there's anyone you want to make happy, it's God. Don't skip church to do something you think will be more fun, like going to the beach. That is wrong. And besides, the sun doesn't come out till noon anyway. And he finishes up by writing, I figure God put me here, and He can take me back at any time He pleases. And that's what God means to me. So that's from Danny Dutton. So his words are immortal. Yes. It's amazing when you ask children to express themselves, what really comes out. I mean, it's just, they are our greatest teachers because they're pure. They haven't been as loaded down with stuff as we tend to be later on in life. But here we have Charles Fillmore, founder with his wife Myrtle of Unity. In his book, Talks on Truth, and he wrote a pretty good description of God when he wrote, God is spirit, infinite mind, the immanent force and intelligence everywhere manifest in nature. God is the silent voice that speaks into visibility all life that is. This power builds with hands deft beyond our comprehension and keeps going. with all this intricate machinery, universe upon universe, one within another, yet never conflicting. All its building is from the center to the circumference. So I'm going to attempt to put that into physical perspective for you. Just to, if we had a PowerPoint, we could really watch this whole presentation of how vast the galaxies are. So stay with me on this one, okay? Our sun equals the size of an orange. Think of that, get the visuals. And then, on that scale, the Earth is a grain of sand circling in orbit around the sun at a distance of 30 feet. For the planet Jupiter, 11 times larger than Earth, is a cherry pit revolving at a distance of 1 city block. Saturn is another cherry pit 2 blocks from the sun. And Pluto, our outermost planet, that was until 2006 when it was demoted, but it's still out there, no matter what we call it, is another grain of sand at a distance of 10 city blocks from the sun. On this same scale, the average distance between oranges, which is the suns of other solar systems, is 2,000 miles. Our galaxy, then, is a cluster of oranges surrounding grains of sand and cherry pits, separated by an average distance of 2,000 miles from another cluster of oranges surrounded by grains of sand and cherry pits. Is that making sense to you, Stephen? You know this.
Very good.
Our galaxy is 20 million miles in diameter. And that is just one galaxy. This is, I got this from Red Giants and White Dwarfs, which was published in 1990. So think about that. It's one galaxy. How many galaxies are there? Infinite. In 1999, the Hubble Space Telescope estimated that there were 125 billion galaxies in the universe, and more recently, with a new camera, it has observed 3,000 visible galaxies. And this is just what is seen through man's inventions. It's so much more than that. That's the reason God is so awesome. I mean, it's inconceivable. Inconceivable, the creative power that is always creating and becoming more and more and more of itself. Yet to God, this entire universe is not that impressive. It's just doing, it's creating. It's creating more and more. So as vast as the universe appears to be, it's not nearly as vast as God, who created it out of itself. Nothing else to create it out of. Created it out of its own nature. So divine energy. That is God's awesomeness on a physical level. How about on a heart level? This says it better than anything I could think of, and these words are resting on the moon right now, and this is what I want to really impart about the awesomeness, which is beyond description, of the divine creator. But these words, which I said were left on the moon by astronaut James Irwin on Apollo 15. So if you will, just take a breath and you can close your eyes. I'm just going to read them to you. So I can stand up here and go on about how awesome God is, but I think this is a place where you can deepen into your heart. And in these words, you will hear and feel how awesome God really is. And this poem is entitled, I Am There, by James Dillard Freeman. Do you need me? I am there. You cannot see me, yet I am the light you see by. You cannot hear me, yet I speak through your voice. You cannot feel me, yet I am the power at work in your hands. I am at work though you do not understand my ways. I am at work though you do not understand my words. I am not strange visions. I am not mysteries. Only in absolute stillness, beyond self, can you know me. Yet I am here, yet I hear, yet I answer. When you need me, I am there. Even if you deny me, I am there. Even when you feel most alone, I am there. Even in your fears, I am there. Even in your pain, I am there. I am there when you pray and when you do not pray. I am in you, and you are in me. Only in your mind can you feel separate from me. For only in your mind are the midst of yours and mine. Yet only with your mind can you know me and experience me. Empty your heart of empty fears. When you get yourself out of the way, I am there. You can of yourself do nothing, but I can do all, and I am in all. Though you may not see the good, good is there, for I am there. I am there because I have to be, because I am. Only in me does the world have meaning. Only out of me does the world take form. Only because of me does the world go forward. I am the law on which the movement of the stars and the growth of living cells are founded. I am love, that is, laws fulfilling. I am assurance. I am peace. I am oneness. I am the law that you can live by. I am the love that you can cling to. I am your assurance. I am your peace. I am one with you. I am. Though you fail to find me, I do not fail you. Though your faith in me is unsure, my faith in you is never wavering, because I know you, because I love you. Beloved, I am there. So let's just breathe that in. And just know that this infinite power for good is always there, always present. This omnipresent, infinite power of good, always expressing itself in limitless possibilities. This peace, this joy, this wisdom of God is the good of God. And that good flows in through and as each and every one here, each and every one everywhere. No matter what the circumstance, no matter what the experience, there is this loving force of energy that is eternal, that is immortal, that cannot die, and it is the truth of each and every person. It cannot fail. because its principle is success. And it is always in harmony with itself. This loving force of good washes over this planet, washes over all pain, washes over all hurt, washes over all violence, washes over all of those experiences. Because ultimately, when this physical form is no longer on this planet Earth, this grain of sand Earth, there is only this loving energy that welcomes us, that wraps its arms around us. I am so grateful to know this. I am so grateful to know that we are so much more than these physical vessels. I am so grateful to know that the God in me honors the God in you. And I am so grateful for these spiritual principles, for this teaching of science of mind, which is steeped in and based in fully, completely, that loving presence of the eternal power of God, expressing as each and every one. And knowing that each one is not only a blessing, but is completely blessed, I let this word be, knowing it is done, and so it is.
So it is.
Woo.